Hi, this is Stuart here from Lawn Mowing 101, and I'm here today to talk about buying a lawn mowing business and how you can avoid mistakes. In this video, I cover why buy an existing lawn mowing business, what kind of lawn mowing business do you want, how to spot red flags, how to test the viability of the business. So you're thinking about buying a lawn mowing business. When you look at what's available and you wonder, how on earth can you navigate all those businesses for sale and separate the good from the bad? Well, I aim to help you today by pointing out as best I can what you should be looking for, questions you should be asking, and basically what I would do if I was going to purchase a lawn mowing business. Now, there's three ways to start a lawn mowing business, and there's three different advantages and disadvantages to each method. You could start your own business. The pros are that it's the cheapest method. You learn as you go. The cons are it can take a long time, no income to start with, and your chances of success are less. You could buy a lawn mowing franchise. Pros there are that you get instant income, so there's more chance of success. Pre-existing systems and support. The cons are the ongoing franchise fees. Things may be fine to start off with, but that could be hard to work with, and as you go down. I do have, if you want more information, I do have a video about buying a lawn mowing franchise. Now, what we're talking about in this video is buying the existing lawn care business. The pros are that you get instant income, instant business. You have a good chance of success if you buy well. The cons are if you buy badly, you may lose money. So today I'm going to help you evaluate how you should look at buying a lawn care business privately to maximize your chances of success and make sure you end up with a good business. The good thing about buying existing business is it'll give you immediate income and you can grow up from there. Now, buying an existing business can always be a little bit tricky, and you need to enter this process with your eyes wide open. There are telltale signs if something's not right, and I want to use my hard-earned experience to help you avoid them. So you're probably asking yourself, how are you qualified to help me make this decision? That's a good question, and if you asked it, then you're being vigilant, and that'll help you when you're looking at these businesses. So how many lawn care businesses have I bought? Well, the answer is none. But how many lawn care businesses have I sold? The answer is 20, maybe 30. I've been building and selling lawn mowing businesses for the last 30 years. I've sold one or two small rounds a year since I started. I sold over 350 lawn mowing contracts to 4 different buyers in 2019 when I downsized. So in the early days when I was selling lawn mowing businesses, I made a lot of mistakes. And I want to talk about them here because they're going to help you in evaluating businesses. I learned from my mistakes, and now I know how to handle the process from start to finish with a loss rate of less than 5%. So what kind of lawn mowing business do you want? Please note that any figures that I mention here are for demonstration purposes only. I'll tend to use industry figures rather than my own because every location is different, and so you need to do some of your own homework there. If you're looking at a full-time income, you're going to want around 80 to 100 lawns, and this will give you a turnover of at least $1,500 a week. If the seller has an income of $1,500 a week and is working 50 or fewer lawns, then you'll need to look into this. There could be a couple of reasons why this is happening. One of them is that he could have large properties and be using large mowers. This would be pretty obvious, and you'd know this from the start when you were looking at the business. The other thing is that he may be offering a full service business, which is not just mowing the lawns. He may be doing the gardens, tree work, fertilization, and all those other outside jobs that the customers may want. This requires a closer look. If they're offering a full service lawn care package, then money's still there, but you may want to know what kind of services they're offering. Are they making money on all of their services, or do they have some loss leaders? So some services that they don't make much money on, but they do because they need to do it as part of the package. Are the services pre-booked, or are they done on an ad hoc basis? Pre-booked is much better because then you can schedule it in, and it makes it a lot easier from your end. Ad hoc, you've got to fit them in as they come up. Were there any big one-off jobs that boosted the income for the year? Check and make sure that they didn't spend, a week on a large job which boosted the income and it's not going to be there next year. So the major drawback with buying a full service business is your clients are pretty much maxed out. You've already the customers are already purchasing different services, so there's no opportunity for instant growth by offering a new service. Because you see, when you've got pre-existing customers, they're a lot more likely to buy another service of you than go somewhere else. And if you buy a full service business, you don't have this option. So you think about it like this. If there were two businesses with the same price and the same turnover, one business was offering 30 full service lawns, that's lawns, trees and gardens, and the other was offering 45 lawns, but they were only lawn mowing clients, so no extra work there. So if you're thinking about turnover, you're probably better off buying the business number two, because you see, if you send an email and said, hey, I've taken over this business, this is my name, hi, blah, blah, blah. And then you told them that you were available to do tree work or to do water blasting or anything like that, then you could instantly increase your turnover without spending any money on advertising. According to your standard marketing metrics, the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70% more than the chance of selling to a new prospect. Now, red flags. When you're looking at buying a lawn mowing business, there are red flags here, and it's good if you're aware what they can be. I like to believe that people are honest, and I tend to expect that, but unfortunately, it's not as common as it should be. There's plenty of people who just want to make a buck and don't really care about the consequences. Once you've paid them, they'll disappear, and then you may have bought more or less than you bargained for. Here's some simple things you can do to avoid this happening to you. Beware of scams. You want to make sure that they've actually got a business for sale. I met somebody who paid pretty good money for a written list of lawn mowing clients. He got them for less than half market value, but he didn't even really look at it. He just bought the list. It turned out when he started approaching the customers that about 10% of them were being serviced by the guy. The rest was all made up, and he was nowhere to be found. So if you're looking at something and it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if you're looking at a lawn mowing business, the first thing you should do is really ask yourself, is there business online? Do a search for it. See if you can find it online. Do a search for the seller's name and location. See whether anybody's got anything to say about the guy that's selling the lawns. And can you find any reviews about them? If someone has a business that they need to sell in a hurry because they're leaving town, you're probably better letting them leave town without your money than buying a business off them. Now, how to test the viability of a business. If someone's selling a lawn mowing business, they may have a legitimate concern about driving around with you and showing you all of their lawns and telling you how much they're charging. Because you may say, hey, they can do that with me, but then what happened if they did that to half a dozen people in front of you and another 3 people after you, and you ended up buying the business? How would you feel knowing that all of these people knew what the prices were for all of these lawns? So the idea is really to try and get an idea of the lawns without driving around and looking at them. If he's not doing that, then what you should do is perhaps say to him, can I go out and work a day with you? Now, it's better if you choose a day, because if he chooses a day, he's going to pick his best day. Who wouldn't? And so if you pick the day, then you can go out and work a day with them. I had plenty of people do this to me when I was selling lawn mowing businesses, and so it's not that uncommon. And so now, when you're traveling around with him for the day, ask him questions while he's traveling, because you kind of want to, when you're on the job, you want to be aware of how long this job's taking you. So you want to kind of keep in mind, when you're starting and finishing these jobs. And then it's at the end of the day, ask him how much you've earned that day. And then think about, whether you think it's good value for money. And also think about, how did it feel? Did it feel like everything was okay? What was his gear like? Have a look at the gear, and if the gear was like super rough, then there could be problems. If the gear's in reasonably good condition and it looks like it's been looked after, then that could be a good sign. The other thing is to check the truck window. Is there a current rego, a current warrant? Does he have an oil change sticker? This will give you an idea of his attention to detail. Now, spending the day with somebody will give you an idea, or even spending a few hours. So I used to take people out for 4 hours, 3 hours, and it'll give you an idea of what kind of business they're running. Now, if they're not selling their equipment with their business, that can be a red flag. Because if they're telling you that they're finishing mowing lawns and they're not selling any equipment, then you've got to wonder why they're keeping the equipment. I do recommend that people, when they're starting a lawn mowing business, buy new equipment rather than secondhand equipment. But if someone's selling a lawn mowing business, I can't see why they wouldn't want to be selling their equipment as well. So they'd have to give you an extremely good reason as to why they were going to keep it. But then again, if they've told you that they're selling their lawn mowing business, where they're selling some of their lawns and they're going to keep on operating, then that's okay. At least you know where you stand, and you need some kind of agreement with them, saying that they're not going to approach any of the customers that they sold to you. Now, if another thing that you should be doing if you're looking at buying somebody some lawns off somebody is, if they're selling just some of their lawns, have they sold lawns before? Now, if they say yes, can they put you in touch with the previous buyer? And why are they selling the lawns? They'll probably tell you that it's because they've got too much work and they have commitments. So then you can probably assume that they're selling the lowest return lawns and the lawns that they don't want. Now, this isn't always a bad thing. I mean, it could be a good thing to start, but if the business is up and running and has been running for a while, he's probably charging fair prices for all of his lawns. So even his lower paying lawns, the prices shouldn't be too bad. So you're just going to have to use your judgment there and figure out, how the seller appears to be running their business. They could also be selling you lawns on the peripherals of their round. So that's not always a bad thing. But the other thing that you need to consider there is the fact that you may end up with a long drive in between lawns. And what you really want is you want your lawns close to each other. So you really don't want to spend any more than about 7 minutes traveling time in between one lawn and the next. Now, another thing that you should really think about is don't buy a business that's too big to handle if you haven't mowed lawns before. If you haven't done that kind of work before, aim to try and buy 30 hours worth of lawns, which is around about 50 to 60 lawns. This will give you that's 30 hours a week. This will give you time to get familiar with the business and drill down and maybe offer some extra work and build on the existing customers as well. Now, another thing that I tend to find is that if you're doing other kind of work, it's always good to leave a Monday free for that kind of work. If you're doing tree work or big gardening jobs or anything like that, then if you're leaving your Mondays free, then you can just work on booking a job for that Monday. And it's a great, it saves a lot of stress if you have a day nominated where you do that kind of work. And it also gives you a day up your sleeve when you're having public holidays and things like that. Now, another thing that you should really watch out for is one customer paying a disproportionate part of the turnover of the business. Now, in business, there's a rule that you should never take any more than a third of your income from any one source. And if you have a large customer who pays a third of your income and they cancel for some reason, your business will survive with good management. But if you've got a customer who's responsible for half your income and they cancel, that could be the end of your business. So be careful. I mean, if you're buying a commercial round, it's different. But if you're buying a domestic round, try to avoid doing things like buying, a regular cut on a retirement village that requires a day or two each week, because jobs like that can just finish. And when they finish, then you've just lost a whole lot of money. So that's all I'm going to cover this time, and this is part one. So next time, I'm going to do a couple more short videos, and I'm going to discuss the questions you should ask when you're buying a lawn mowing business. How much should you pay for a lawn mowing business? How financing works, what you should do there, how to do your due diligence, and then I'm going to go through the steps that you should do to secure your business once you've bought it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back again soon with another video on part 2 on buying a lawn mowing business. Bye.